Good morning, everyone. This is Paul from Forex Smart Trade. Glad you could be here this bright, sunny morning. Our goal here at Forex Smart Trade is to help you be the best version of yourself. And we do that by helping people become financially independent by teaching them to currency trade with our proprietary indicators and using company money. So with that, let's get going here. First, I'm supposed to read this. This trade is for educational purposes only. All information given is speculative and involves risk. This trade should be examined and taken from a personal evaluation. All attendees agree by watching that any trades he or she takes was of individual influence based on personal evaluation of the market. This webinar is intended to demonstrate a method that can be used to help make an evaluation of the current market. No past, present, or future incomes have been made or relied upon during, prior to, or during this meeting. As you are here, you should also be attending the other webinars the company does. These webinars are helpful. They're giving away free fish. The traders that do them are very good traders. Take the free pips. The schedule, in case you don't know, Monday and Thursday, LITs have a session at 10 p.m. at night. 30-minute session on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's in the morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday evening, there's a light member meeting. Wednesday evening, there is an advanced member meeting. Everyone is invited to the AIT at 10 p.m. Eastern Time with Brett. And then advanced members, we've got the MIT trade at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Back to the basics training on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and trading the on-it trade. Right now, they're doing some changes on that, so I would hold off. I wouldn't go into that right now. All right. Starting this Thursday, if you have referrals, get them over. We are doing a trade Thursday afternoon at 11:30 Eastern Time. The tip-top referral trade. If you provide a referral, you will get 60 days access to an additional trade. And that will be done by me, John, Phil, and Eileen. So you get to see 4 different trading strategies. We will rotate and pick up some additional tips. Each of us are a little bit different in how we trade. So the more instruction, the more trading you see, you will find the trade protocol that kind of best fits your personality and style. What else? Trade routine. I like to trade off of, I've got an agenda that I follow every day. It is good practice to work with that agenda. Although I don't have it on here, I should probably add it on here. First things I always do is I check to see that my charts are current. And here we can see I got the green up in the top right corner. That means I'm connected to the internet. I got the green down on the bottom right corner of each chart. That means I am current. So I always want to make sure I am current. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Then I start with a review of the previous day's trading. Last week we took a couple trades. Sorry, let me find the. We took a couple trades. Count history. Euro USD and AutoCAD. the now I forget what the trades were off the top of my head. Let's see, we can tell by how many pips we went for. We went for 68. We went from 86 to 78. So that is 7, 8, 8 pips. So this was probably a 10-point trade. Euro USD, we also went from 55 to 47, another 8-pip trade. So it looks like both of these were 10-point trades. This Euro USD took a little bit longer to close. It closed the following day. As you can see, there was a swap fee here. Swap fee is because we held it overnight and the broker charged us interest. In this case, they paid us interest because we had a sell. So last week we had 2 successful trades. So let us start the next. So we reviewed last week. Let's take a look at what's in the news. We want to know what's in the news because we are technical traders, strictly based on price action. And if we see a news item coming up, we want to stay away from it because we don't know how it's going to impact the market. And at forexfactory.com, it gives us a feed of what items might impact the market, and they break it down into 3 categories: yellow, which is low impact; orange, which is medium impact; and red, which is high expected impact. Earlier this morning, our time, there were some announcements on the Australian dollar. The rest of the day, we've got low impact items until again tonight. Australia is announcing their gross domestic product. So we've got really nothing to worry about today. If you have been noticing, even though it is not on here, the dollar has been getting weaker, and the reason for that is because of the civil unrest with the rioting that's going on. It's making people less confident in the dollar. So probably until they get a handle on that, we're going to see it continue to get weaker. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at what we might have for a potential trade. In this session, I use we use 2 techniques that we do during the introductory trial. One is called the 10-point trade. The other is the thick orange line trade. I am a particular fan of the 10-point trade. I primarily trade using that. I will only go over what we use in the introductory session so that everybody can have a chance of doing it. When I do this trade, I do take a look at the echo, and you see I have the echo charts up here when I am evaluating. So on the 10-point trade, I start with the majors and minors, and I am looking for the lines to be either overbought, which is above the blue, or oversold, like down over here with the U.S. Canadian. And if I have that, then I look for them to be pointing down, which both are, and to be double crossed. And both are. This is just barely double crossed the major. So when I have all 3 conditions, I give myself 3 points. So 1 for being overbought, 2 for both being pointed down, and 3 for both being double crossed. Red coming over green and the black coming over gray. When I have this and I jump up to the TNTs, on the TNTs I count how many lines are moving in the same direction. So the two orange lines, the thick and the thin, are pointing down, so that's consistent with this. The dotted blue is going up. When blue goes up, that means down, so I've got 3, and the thick blue is going down. So I've got 3 of the 4. I need a minimum of 3 of the 4 to continue to proceed. The thick orange line is the fastest of the 4 indicators. The thick blue line is the slowest of the 4 indicators. So this guy is usually the last to turn. So I got 3 out of 4. So then I'm going to go down to the pressure, and I want to see, I need at least 1 point from the pressure to make this a worthwhile trade. I've got up pressure. Everybody's going up. It's rather steep. And I have green on top. So the pressure is not our friend here. I need to have either the red on top or the lines pointing down. I have neither, so I don't have that last piece of confirming information. Reason I want confirming information is to have that high consistency. We want multiple pieces of information telling me that it's a good trade. And the more of these that I have, the higher the probability that I'm going to get a good trade. So without the pressure, I'm not going to do this. And of the 3 indicators, the pressure is considered the most important. So I do not want to trade against the pressure unless it's a very short and fast trade like we have on the thick orange line trade. So let's go to pound dollar. I'm overbought. I've got the minors coming down, but the majors are still going up. So I am going to, I don't have all 3 points here. If I don't have all 3 points, I go on to the next one. Australian US dollar. Overbought. Everybody's coming down. Again, the one thing that I don't quite like about this is even though this is coming down, he's kind of a sideways down. I'd prefer to have a steeper down, like you see here on the pound dollar. This guy's coming down. He's committed to going down. I'd like to see a nice a steeper slope like this on the coming down. So I've got 3 points here. Again, I've got the 2 oranges coming down, dotted blue going up. So 3 points, but my pressure is going up with red on top. So it's not quite ready yet. Dollar Swiss franc. Overbought, but everybody's still going up. Dollar yen, we're just hitting the channel here, and it's starting to go sideways, so nothing. Dollar Canadian, I am oversold. I am going up, and I got the double cross. This guy's a little bit steeper than this guy is over here going down, so I kind of like this setup. The 2 oranges are going up. Dotted blue is coming down, so I've got 3 of the 4 here, and I have I've got down pressure with green going down, and the line's actually diverging. The green line is separating from the red line. So this is I'm giving myself a point here because I have the green on top, even though it's going down. So when I have 7 points, then the next step is how much is this trade worth? So I am going to get more information. To get that more information, I am going to open up USD Canadian chart. I'm going to take one of the charts that I have open, and I'm going to just change it to USD Canadian. And on my chart setup, these are the charts I like to look at. I like to look at a 5-minute, a 30-minute, a 60-minute, a 2-hour, 4-hour, and a day chart. In addition to those, I like to look at a clean at a clean 60-minute chart with just the candles on it. So I'm going to squish this up because I want to see where my support and resistance are. So and let me just save this. Is it USD? Oops. USD CAD. Come on. USD CAD. Oops. D. So support and resistance are spots where it appears that the lines tend to stop and bounce off of. So I have one here. It seems to bounce, and it's also bouncing in here. On a 60-minute chart, these tend to be about 30 pips apart. So again, right here and right here. And if I look, I'm going from 48 to 80. That's 32 pips. All right, we had a few months back, we had a gap. One of the trades we used to take was a gap trade, and 90% of the time when the price gaps like this between a Sunday and Friday, it usually comes back. You can see it came back a little bit, and then it shot up. So had you tried to take this full gap, you would have been waiting, I don't know, 2 months, 2.5 months for it to come back, and it still hasn't quite closed the gap yet. So, all right, so we've got a couple supports and resistance. And the reason I want this is that gives me how much room I have, till I hit the support and resistance. So let me open it back up. Let's open it back up and all right. So if we go back to our trade routine, what's the trend? Last from about here we're trading into a downtrend. So so we're trading into a downtrend, but I want to take it up trade. So when I take an up trade in a downtrend, I'm going to be a little bit more careful, because when you trade against the trend, I'm less likely to get a full move. Now, what would be a full move? Well, the price is right here. I've got almost 26 pips till I hit this line, 27 pips. So I can take an up move all the way up until I hit this line and be pretty safe. So there's 27 pips there. I might take 13, but let's see what else we have. On the 2-hour, I got everybody going up. I've got green on top. I've got my TNTs all telling me, I've got my 2 orange lines telling me up. On my 30-minute, green is moving up, in diverging. I've got up through the channel. I've got up pressure on the 5-minute, even though I'm a little overbought. I like this for a buy for 13 pips. I like this for a buy for 13 pips. So let us open up our chart. I'm going to open up US Canadian. If I didn't have it opened already on the tabs below here, I would just go to File, New Chart, and I'd find USD Canadian. If it wasn't in, and here it is up in the top group here. If he wasn't up here, I'd look in this group, and if he wasn't in this group, I'd look in this group. But he's up here. Then on this second row, I'm going to go to New Order. It's going to pop open a window. I am going to check my symbol, USD Canadian. I got the right symbol, and then I'm going to check my volume. For to stay consistent with our risk rules, I do not want to take a trade greater than the company says 1%, but it's technically not 1%. I want to move this decimal place over 4 spots. So if I move this decimal place over 4 spots based on my account balance, I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 0.86. I can take a trade volume of up to 0.86. And then when I do my trade, I'm going to do it in 2 steps. Step 1 is whether it's a buy or sell. In this case, it's a buy. And what happens is it records it down below the chart. So it gives it an order number, time, what I did, buy, lot size, symbol, price. But the stop loss and take profit are zeroed out. So I need to tell it what I want for a stop loss and take profit. So to do that, I right click anywhere along that line, go to modify or delete, and then it asks me what I want. So we had 27 pips, so I'm going to go for 13 pips. So 13 pips is going to equal 130 points. I just add an extra 0. I click the blue copy as, and right now I'm going to leave this in here at 500, but we're going to go take a look and see what the right number should be for the stop loss. I'm going to just put 50 pips for now, and if I pull this up, I can see my stop loss. For the stop loss, I want to come back and look at this chart. Ideally, I want to go 2 support and resistances away. So here's one support or resistance, the support line, and here's a second. So I want to go somewhere beneath this line. So it has to break 2 supports before it takes me out. So that's at 1, and I've gone a little bit beyond the line because I don't want to get a peek through. Like here we have a peek through. It came down, it stopped, but there was a peek through. So at 1.34, so 1.34551. So 1.34551, let's take a look and see where we ended up at. We're at 1.3460. So I'm going to increase this a little bit. I'm going to go a little further down. 13455. All right, let's see what else we have for a trade. Since we're 5 minutes before the top of the hour, let's see if we have a thick orange line trade. So on a thick orange line trade, I am looking for either a 0 or minus 100 with this thick orange line number or within 10. So minus 33 isn't close enough. Minus 58 isn't close enough. Minus 60, no. Minus 26, no. Minus 79, no. 36, no. Let's go to the next group. 0 is a yes. 0 is a yes, but there's two conditions I want to see. I want to see all of the lines up here. They are touching the blue, but they're not above the blue. So I'm going to hold off here. Minus 80 is a no. Minus 17 is a no. Minus 100 is a yes. But all of my lines are up above the blue and not below the red. So I don't have both conditions. So I'm going to pass. NZD, USD. All my lines are, I've got a minus 9, which is within 10 of 0, and I have all of the lines above. I am going to go ahead and take this as a 5 pip sell. Got both conditions, condition 1, condition 2. Let's go back. I'm going to open a new chart. NZD USD. I do not have NZD USD open here, so I'm going to go to File, New Chart. I'm going to open up NZD USD, not in that top group. NZD USD is here. I don't like this format, so I'm going to change it. And I am going to click New Order. My lot size is going to be the same. I can have 2 open trades at this 0.86 and keep this margin level here. It's at 2,000 now. I want to keep this above 1,000. So with 2 open trades at 0.86, I can do that. So I am going to click Sell by the Market. And it's recorded the trade down below. I am going to right-click on it, go to Modify. On this trade, I don't have to figure anything out. It's always good for 5 pips. And we will use a 4 times stop loss of 20 pips. Now on these short little trades, I'd like to get the full 5, so I'm going to just check and see. I got in at 63.16. If I take 5 away from the 16, I'm going to go to 11. So I'm going to change this to 63112. 63112, and record it. And again, I like to see that I can see my take profit line, my stop loss line. This is green because we are within 10 pips of the trade closing. Obviously, we only took a 5 pip trade, so we are okay. Let's see if we have any questions. What time will the tip-top trade happen? That will happen at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Thick orange line trade is 5 minutes before the hour, and 10 point for any point in the hour. Generally on the 10-point trade, I like to have at least 30 minutes in to the hour when I'm trading off of the 1 hour chart, because I want to have at least 30 minutes of information in the on the charts. So it's got they've had a chance to kind of solidify. But what you see is I'm also looking at the different time periods when I do take the trade. So I am looking for support from the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 4 hour, and the 30. So here, if I go back an hour to the top of the hour, we're down here. We've got this little gap here. We are. It's actually toward the bottom of the channel, slight down. But as we come back current, he is starting to turn. This gap has gotten bigger. We're still going up. The slope here came off a little bit, not quite as steep as I'd like, but eventually we will. I'm confident that this is going to go up back through the channel. Uh, if we look on our orange lines, they've advanced. The blue lines advanced. Everybody's kind of pushing up here, up, up. Uh, uh, Even on the day chart, uh, the green is on top here. This hasn't crossed, but we got the cross here, we get the cross here, we get the cross here. And then let's just go back and take a look at our USD Canadian. We went from, let's see, no, not the USD Canadian. What was the other trade we took? It was NZD USD. NZD USD. So we got the jump here. We went from -9 to -21. So I'd expect at least a 10-point jump. We got it. So it's just going to take a little bit of time. We're still, this may take 2 hours to close. These are starting to turn. And this is starting to turn too. So it'll just take a little time. Any other questions? So today we took a thick orange line trade. Shouldn't take profit on USD, be 2 pips higher. On that trade, we're kind of close enough, in my opinion. I was going for 13, so if there was a little bit of a spread, that's okay. I'm not going to be on a bigger trade. Even if I net 10 pips, I'm okay with that. So, and we had 27 pips, so we're taking about a third of the move there. On the smaller trades, I like to be a little more exact, just so that we get our 5 pips. But on the longer trade, what happens is when you use the modify tool, this calculates based on where the price is at the time you click this button. So the price could have moved a little bit from the time you place the trade. We could go back in and adjust that, but I'm not going to bother. Okay, everybody. Thanks. We will see you next Tuesday, and have a good week. Bye-bye.